Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm here with my audio working. I've got the recording on. We're getting started with the More Time, More Money, More Freedom free webinar tonight so that I can share some valuable information with you so that you can start to feel like you can move in the direction that you want to be going to, which may be living life on your terms, traveling, paying down debt, doing all kinds of different things that you're looking to do in the next 3, 5, and 10 years. So I'm Deborah McDonald coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I'm really thrilled that you're here tonight so that we can just give you some of the best information possible so that I can share some of my ideas and thoughts and insights just in how you can build that lifestyle income, because a lot of people out there are just really struggling, and it's not just a certain cohort, it's the entire population, you know, from the young people to the baby boomers to just the middle group as well. So I'm here to tell you a little bit more about how you might be able to make some changes in your life and just really work towards that lifestyle that maybe you're choosing to do. So let's get started. I'm going to share some slides with you, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to check the chat box. Hello. Yes, Ryan, thank you. I fixed my microphone. All right, let me share my slides so that we can really stay on track tonight. I'm going to be about 20 to 30 minutes. And definitely, if you have any questions, you can just ask in the chat box and I will work towards getting that answered for you tonight. All right, welcome everyone. So it's about more time, more money, more freedom. And really what I'm all about is helping people build profitable businesses and being able to make a bigger impact so that they can experience true freedom. So many people are looking for that true freedom lifestyle, and it sometimes just doesn't seem attainable. So we're going to be talking about planning, profiting, and having that purpose for financial freedom. We'll be talking about how to work less, make more, and have more fun. So I hope that you're with me on that. For sure, it's definitely something that we all want to go for. So this is just a little bit about my background, and I want to tell you my story because it just pertains as to how I got into coaching people in terms of how to build their lifestyle income, how to build their lifestyle, freedom-based lifestyle, and maybe work from anywhere in the world. So I'm a farm girl from Alberta and have just absolutely had a great childhood, just learning and being in that organic sort of environment all of my life. So I do have a real passion for health, wellness, and the having a roots that are really sort of grounded inside of me. I got a lot of work ethic from there because you worked all the time being a farm kid. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. But at the age of 21, I bought this super little car. I call it my freedom car because it really took me everywhere. And when you have the top down, you feel like you're just living that freedom lifestyle. But the story behind this is that I put myself through school. I worked 7 days a week and I paid cash for this car and got it at age 21. I don't know how it came about in my mind, but it was kind of like having a vision board, but without having the vision board at that time in my life. And I just really wanted to have that car. And so I had that car for a number of years and absolutely had a blast with it. But I was already into the mindset of looking at how am I going to build my life. And so by the age of 24, I bought my first townhouse, and it was like $56,000. So that was a lot of money in that time frame. But guess what? It is now. It's $256,000. So things have changed. So I some ways wish I would have held on to it. But anyways, here's how the story goes. So then at the age of about 25, around that same time frame, I purchased a franchise, and it was the Merle Norman Cosmetic Studio in West Edmonton Mall. Now, this was, you know, bricks and mortar. This was something that I never even thought I would be doing, but entrepreneurialism was starting to set in for me. And I guess that comes from maybe my family background. They always said, you know, buy land, get into business for yourself, that kind of thing. So I think that's where it all happened. But lo and behold, about 3 years later, I met my husband, who was an Air Force pilot. Great news on that front, but what that meant was moving away from my city, my home city. And so I ended up selling my franchise, the Merle Norman Studio franchise, and also selling my townhouse. And it just seemed like I was just getting started, and here I was, you know, changing my life. So anyways, we've moved. At that point, over the 20-year, there was a 20-year period that we moved 10 times. So it was a very chaotic kind of life style, but yet very rewarding in the sense that I moved my career on to being a trainer for Estee Lauder Cosmetics for Western Canada. That was really cool. So I had a taste of the corporate world again, and also just being able to teach and train other people, and did that with the Estee Lauder Corporation. Now, what happened was I had to leave that particular position just because we moved again, and this time we moved to Italy. So there's myself and our 2 kids, and just overlooking the island of Capri. So it was a wonderful, wonderful time. But what happened when we came back 3 years later, I didn't have a job, I didn't have a career, I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I started building a home-based business, and that just came across my desk, just I guess maybe because I was putting it out with the universe. But anyways, here's the company owners and my team that we had just started working with at that time. So it was just a lot of fun to build teams and work with a lot of people, and get back into my leadership skills. But from there, I invested in real estate income properties. And the reason I did that was because I replaced my full-time income within the first year and a half of my business, working part-time, working around my kids and everything else. But then I wanted to create a wealth plan, something very strategic that would give us something even more, because even though we had a fairly good income, I wasn't working at the time, but my husband was. So in the military, we did have a reasonable income, but it wasn't where we wanted to be. Plus, when you're moving all the time, you really don't end up saving a lot. And we just ended up feeling like we just weren't where we needed to be. So, but to move on further, I just wanted to share this whole thing with you. We lost our second child at birth, and it was a horrible time in our life. We just, realized that this was the wake-up call. This was the time I had to ask myself, do I want to be on that treadmill or that hamster wheel? Both of us were working our careers. We were both just really committed to that. We had our first child, and then our second child died. And then now what do we do? So we have to ask yourself, do I really want to carry on that way? Do I want the left side or the right side? Because the right side meant freedom to me. And so just want you to ask yourself too, where are you going? What are you doing? Now, everybody's situation is going to be different. So I want to ask you why you're doing what you're doing. And, why do you want to expand your lifestyle? Why do you want to expand your life? What is your purpose? So for me, this is everything to me. Family is everything. And so that was my purpose. How am I going to get that, be in that lifestyle situation, have purpose, enjoy life, and really be where I want to be at? Even though we had that devastating loss in our life, we did move on to having another child, this little guy here, Kevin. And, that was a blessing that we could actually have another child. So we feel blessed, and that is our purpose. Now here they are, a lot more grown up. This is probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And then this is my son-in-law over here on the right side. But it was just all about really building up your life to where you want it to be. And what's really cool about this is both of my kids have really taken in what we've, created here. And, they're also in that same idea of what's my why? What is my purpose in life? So now we even have a bigger why and a bigger purpose, because we have this adorable granddaughter who's now 7 months old, and she's just been amazing. So she belongs to the family up here, Stacy and AJ. And then there's my son, her uncle holding her when she was born. And then here she is at 4 months already driving. Anyways, what is your why? What are you looking to do in your life? And it may not have anything to do with family, but it may have something to do with leaving a legacy, or leaving, working with, different people in your world. So think about what it is that you want to do. Now, I love this slide because it's really about having a vision board. Sometimes you don't need to have a vision board. Sometimes you do want to have a vision board, because what's happening in your mind? What is it that you're thinking about what you want to do? So, I had that freedom card that I talked about. I did that at 21. And so cars, are awesome. I love them. But maybe it was going to be more for me about family time. Maybe it was going to be about working from home, being able to keep that balance in our life, because when you've got 2 careers going like crazy, you want to be able to get your life more balanced, as we learned through that wake-up call. You may want a new home. Maybe you want to pay your mortgage down. Maybe you want to, just be completely mortgage free. Maybe you want family vacations. You want to retire in style. Maybe you want to meet a celebrity, Oprah or whoever, someone that you really resonate with. That's just some ideas. What are your ideas? Write them down. Like, think about it. Put it on, a goals list or a vision board. And so here I want to just mention too, as you can see, there's the big dream circle, then there's the small income circle. And yes, we say dream big, but sometimes it just seems like we're dreaming and not much is happening because what happens is our income circle is so small, it just doesn't allow for some of the things that we want to be doing. And so what I'm going to be talking about is how you can expand your income circle, how you can create a residual income, how you can build your lifestyle to where you want it to be. So I hope you're with me on that and enjoying this talk so far. So here we go. Let's talk about the problems out there. And one of the biggest problems has to do with our finances. You know, here was a stat that I really quite kind of resonated with, is that 100 people were surveyed at age 65. So look at the pie. 54% are dependent. That means the government on family or people other than themselves. And so 36% are still working. And some people do want to keep working from a social aspect, but there are 36% that don't want to be working, but they're working because they have to. They can't pay the bills or the rent or whatever it might be. They just didn't have enough in their savings or retirement plan. 4% are okay with 1 million in their retirement plan. 1% are wealthy, which is 5 million. So we really need to talk about saving for a rainy day. You've got to have a contingency plan. You've got to have a retirement plan. And even if you're in your 20s right now, you've got to start thinking about what are you going to be doing for the future? How much do you need to live on? And so I realized this when we came back from our European trip, is we need to have, you know, multiple income streams. We need to look at reducing our debt and improving our lifestyle and also reducing our stress. So really think about that for a moment. And this talks about the baby boomer age right now, 65 and so on. But think about all the kids that are out there with student debt. It's like trillions and trillions of dollars in student debt. We also have a credit card problem, you know, where the credit card debt is unbelievable and totally out there. So we don't always see it in our maybe friends or neighborhood or maybe in your own particular situation, but are you struggling? Are you working towards your financial future? So one of the major changes that happened for me, this paradigm shift, you might say, was when I was mentored by Bob Proctor in my home-based business. When I first started like 15 years ago, we were mentored by Bob Proctor. He was our company coach, I guess you might say, and he mentored everyone out in the field. So here we were, representatives of a health and wellness company, and he would be coaching us on conference calls and so on. And so, excuse me, a bit of an itchy nose. Anyways, he talks about the M1, M2, M3 strategy. And so let me tell you a little bit about that. Some people have heard about this, some people have not. The M1 strategy is where you're trading time for money. So you go to a job, you get paid and you pay the bills and you look after yourself and so on, right? So that's what we call trading time for money. M2 strategy is where you would take your income and take a certain part of it and invest in different investments. But the problem with the M2 strategy is people don't have enough. You know, at the end of the month, they're scrambling. At the end of the month, they're saying, how do I pay the bills? How do I pay the rent? And so this is a big problem for a lot of people in the M2 strategy. So what is the M3 strategy? Well, this is what the wealthy do. This is the 1%ers that actually get involved in this strategy. And what they're doing is they are working with others to I guess the word is they are multiplying their efforts through the time and efforts of others. And so that's why I chose to go with the M3 strategy, which is working with the health and wellness company that I'm in and loving it, because not only did I love it so much, I decided to write a book on it because it is about creating freedom. And I felt compelled to write this business book because it uses the M3 strategy. We're multiplying our time through the efforts of others, setting up multiple streams of income. And so, you know, think about, you know, Warren Buffett, you know, one of the wealthiest men in the world. He said, never depend on a single income. Make investments to create a second source. So you have different options out there. It's just how you choose to live it. This is our team. We were just so excited to be together in London, Ontario a couple of years ago. But J.P. Getty, he was the first billionaire in the US. And what he said is, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. I really want you to think about that. I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. So that really stuck with me. And you can see that when you have a team of people, yeah, we're together, you know, right there, but we're not together all the time, but we're building residual income, and we're building recurring residual income within this model, which I call the win-win business model. This is just an example of, you know, my emails coming in saying your Hope movement is growing, your team is growing, your customers are growing, your affiliates are growing. And this happens within, you know, seconds of each other, days of each other, weeks of each other. And so when you get that recurring residual income, it's kind of like that, you know, you can go on vacation and the income is still coming in. You could be dealing with, you know, some different problems with your family, your home, or some type of a crisis. You still have income coming in. You don't have to worry so much about all of the money and where it's coming from. So that's why recurring residual income is really, really key. Now, the direct selling industry, I talk about this where it meets the marketing future. This huddle of people, I just think it's so cute because it's like a team, right? The name of the game is distribution of goods and services. The direct selling network marketing structure gives people the opportunity to participate in distribution. So think of this as being one of my vehicles for creating residual income. And that could be yours, or maybe you're already in it, or maybe you have some other ways that you're doing gaining residual income. And you know, the way it works now with the internet, love those old computers, from hundreds of dollars, you can be earning from hundreds of dollars per month to six-figure incomes per month. That can be made using this method of distribution, offline and online. And it may sound like it's not possible, but oh my gosh, the people out there that are making those six-figure incomes per month is incredible. You just don't see them every single day, or you don't come across them within your work environment or wherever you are, but they're out there. So I can really say that, you know, the power of leverage is what the M3 strategy is all about. And one of my other mentors is Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm just going to check my time. He says the richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work. So we had the opportunity to meet him. I started working with him initially, then I introduced some of my family members to him. So when I discovered the cash flow quadrant, this is when life changed for me. I saw this quadrant, this image here, and I know that, you know, most people, employees know about having a job, right? But also the self-employed is that you own a job. So I have been an employee like I was previously. I've also been self-employed when I had my franchise. So I owned a job and I worked 9 to 9 most of the time. And thank God I was in my early 20s, so I didn't mind. But I didn't realize how much was going to be involved, because when your staff don't show up, you have to show up. When the doors have to be open every single day, 7 days a week in the West Edmonton Mall, you have to make sure that that's happening. If they don't show up, then you're out there. So that's the kind of thing that I knew, that the franchise model was great to a certain degree, but it just depends on how much you own and how much staff you have and various other things. So I knew I wanted to get over to the B quadrant and the I quadrant, these two over here. From what Robert teaches is that as a business owner, you want to have a business where you own a system and people work for you and with you. So that's what the network marketing model is. And that's where I realized I was going into when I learned from Bob Proctor about the M3 strategy. It was the B quadrant, exactly what I was looking for, which is the freedom side and more security. Even though this may feel more secure on the ENS because you have a paycheck coming in, this is the one that's really secure for the long term and for the future. The I was for investors. So you start building your income or your investments from the income you get from your B business. So that was what really struck me. And that's when I said, I want to be over on the B and the I, and that's exactly what I've done. So here's what happens too, that he suggests, I love images, as you may have noticed. He says this is what 90% of the people out there that make 10% of the incomes. Okay, so what they do is they take their income and they totally put it into liabilities, various things, like maybe some things that we really don't need. Cars are liabilities. There's various other things that are liabilities, maybe buying too much, a big screen TV, or toys and games and boats and cottages and whatever. Depends on what it is, but it's not, if it's not considered an asset, then you're just putting it out and there you go. So you haven't gained anything. Whereas the 10% who make 90% of the income, they take their income and they put it into assets. and then they continue to put in more income, which then becomes this wonderful building of residual income. So earlier in this slide presentation, you saw purpose, plan, and profit. And I love these 3 Ps. So we have already been talking about the plan, which is in the blue circle here, with the M3 strategy and the B and the I quadrant. So that would be your plan, is how do I build that plan? And then you're going to look at what is the purpose behind that. That is top. You've got to have the purpose. And for me, it's family and giving back. It might be something else for you. So take a quick, good look at that. And then how are you going to profit? What are your profit centers? How are you going to profit? For me, it's through a residual income business in my health and wellness business, and then also a number of rental properties. So it really is different for everyone, but this gives you kind of an overview or a snapshot of what is possible in just the 3. I'm trying to make it very simple so that people don't get overwhelmed, because that is one of the overwhelm robs us of getting into our purpose, getting into our why. So I just want you to feel like this is a simplified program or idea and insights for you. So for me, with my company, we're able to give back at the same time that we actually promote our product line, which is awesome. You buy a product and we feed children. So it's a one-to-one. I buy a product, actually I buy a serving for myself, and I buy a serving for a child. It feeds a child. So we have 19 million servings in 3 years. Here we are in Mexico. I earned this trip to go see the orphanages, the kids in the orphanages, and our whole team was there, and we just got to meet President Fox. He's part of this, him and his wife Marta up here. They are just into giving back and helping out so many of the kids and people in Mexico. But that's where our 19 million servings are going to. And the foundation that we are connected with actually feeds kids worldwide, but our sort of part in it is 19 million servings. And we have done more than they have done over 10 years within how they serve, because we have just got a distribution network of people. So just carrying on for a few more minutes here, and then I just want to tell you about my freedom formula. So basically what I did was I used my health and wellness business income, and I took chunks of it as I put it into a wealth account, and then I bought rental properties, put down payments on rental properties. So that was like a strategic wealth plan. And just 1 sec, my phone is beeping. And so that was my idea, is how am I going to do this, and how am I going to do it over 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and so on. And so I had mapped this all out. And then what I did was I built more and more teams in my health and wellness business. So it's a win-win profit center as well. So I'm helping them build their incomes at the same time building my income. So it's so much of a, just a big, huge collaboration of people that want to do good. And then what I did was I reinvested to add more properties. So then I gained more profit. So in all of that, I became mortgage free in the first 5 years of my investing. And then I doubled my net worth. And at this point, I was, of course, able to give back even more, because what I did was I built hundreds of team members in my health and wellness business, took that income, the dollar signs you could see, invested it into properties here. And both of those both the business and the real estate are assets that can be sold for profit or beneficiary. So really thinking about, where you are with assets, liabilities, residual income, leverage, because there's linear income versus leveraged income. And linear income is your day job, you trade time for money, basically. And it's not a bad strategy at all. We all should work at some point. And maybe you can be working and creating a side business at the same time. It's very, very doable, very, very possible. So here I just want to just stress how important it is to have mentors. Without mentors, it's hard to get ahead. I mean, we're all brilliant in one way or another, right? But we have to tap into our skills. We have to tap into our potential. And here are the owners of our company here. And it's all about having a purposeful business for them. And that's the culture that they have created. And that is the culture that I really respond well to and resonate with. Here I am with my leader, team leader, Kathy Doman. We were at the Beyond Leadership with Eric Worre in Vegas last year, and just had a great time, always learning and growing, because we need to be able to learn and grow so that we can lead better with our teams and then help them get to where they want to go. Here I am with Eric Worre, Network Marketing Pro. He's like the Tony Robbins of our industry. Incredible man. I just totally, resonate with him and his teachings, and he's doing just incredible work all over the world. So we're lucky to have him. Now, just back in this bottom picture here, that's Robert Kiyosaki quite a few years ago. That was me when I took my son, he was 13 at the time, to a cash flow workshop, whole day workshop in Toronto with him. And this is why I think my kids are following, you know, in some of our direction, in that they're thinking about their lifestyle and how they really want to live their life and live on purpose. And, you know, along with all of this, you have personal growth within this business model. So that's what we do here, is we help mentor others. We personally grow and embrace our own personal growth. And then we help others by empowering them with their own personal growth and tapping into their potential. Here I am with my mentor, Garrett McGrath. He's an incredible man. He's Irish, and he has been a leader in this industry for so many years, and just top in the way that he deals with his teams. So, but just all to say that, you know, sometimes we can say, oh yeah, I could do a side hustle. Oh yeah, I could build that. I could buy investments. I could do this, blah, 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 blah. We all have excuses at some time why it won't happen. And so I just want to say to you that this slide tells everything, because so many people say, I don't have enough time. You know, I've got kids, I've got family, I've got this, I'm taking care of my parents, blah, 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 you know, and my job is demanding. So how can I actually do this? We have to think about how we can really use these 37 hours that can give you enough time to pursue your dream. This is exactly what I ended up doing when I came back from Italy. And, you know, I knew it was percolating in the back of my mind as to what am I going to do? You know, ever since we lost our baby, how am I going to do this? But it was just how it had to come together. The universe does bring things together for you. But if you're thinking and moving into, you know, shifting your paradigms, then you're going to start to see how this is so possible, because there's people out there that have incredible success in their lives, and they're happy doing what they're doing. We don't have to trade time for money. We don't have to see money as the root of all evil. It's there for a purpose, and it's there for you to give back and to live the life that you want. So make sure when you choose your side business that you have a system, and this is why, because it stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. And I always love this, this whole quote. And then I also met Michael Gerber along the way, as he's the E-Myth guy. If you haven't read his book, you should. He says, work on your business, not in your business. And so this is how you're going to work towards that lifestyle. Maybe you want to work 12 hours a week. 12 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week. Or maybe you're working 80 hours a week and you want to get it down to 40 or 30. You've got to do something. So that's why I put this slide up here asking you, what is your freedom vehicle? What vehicle are you going to have that's going to take you to where you want to go? Is what you're doing right now taking you to where you want to go? If it is, I congratulate you, absolutely. But if it isn't, then you've got to think about it. You know, this year has gone by like incredibly. 6 months has gone by already for 2019. And before you know it, 3 years have gone by, and then 5 years have gone by. When you look at 5 years ago, what was different, or is it still the same? Has anything changed for you in terms of your finances, your lifestyle, and your wealth building? I really, really want you to ask yourself that. And if you don't have a freedom vehicle, then we should talk, because we definitely need to have something. So this is really what I teach, is I teach how to build residual income, how to buy assets so that you can build a higher net worth. And your net worth is really what it's all about, because that's when you have your net worth is what you're worth after all of your expenses and all of your, you know, it's the best part of what you have. So you got to take a look at what you got there. Anyways, I help people with that part. And so this is what happens with my course that I have, and also a lot of the coaching that I do is called the Lifestyle Entrepreneur Blueprint. So we talk about how you can build a residual income wealth plan. Not just an income plan, but a residual income wealth plan. And what vehicles are you going to use? My examples are my network marketing / social business income, and also my rental properties. It may be something else for you. We can take a look at that. It might be something to do online. It could be you know, different ways that you can earn residual income, because there's many out there. Can't go into it tonight because we're also getting down to our time, but that's what I talk about and teach with inside my course. So we're coming to the end here, and I just want you to really take action. And I want to be able to help you with some gifts that will help you get to taking action. So really, you know, how can I say this? When I there were times when I just thought I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do enough of whatever because I was going through a lot of different things. And we sometimes hold ourselves back and we don't realize we're holding ourselves back. So I just want to say is like, really look at how you can take action. If you need help, then get a mentor. If you want to check it out with me, I give you a free coaching call so that we can have a half-hour discussion about what you're looking for, what you want to do. Is it real estate investing? Is it, building another side income? Is it, working at how you can, get out of your day job eventually, 3 to 5 years from now, or whatever that might be. Let's build a wealth plan. So that's what we go over in the free coaching call. I also can sign you up for my free weekly articles so that you'll get some really cool info and inspiration at the same time. Of course, that's what I'm always all about. And I'll also provide my 7 Secrets ebook. It's kind of cool what it's got in it. So I would highly recommend that when I send that to you through your email, because you've registered for this webinar, we will get that to you. And also you will get a replay. So if you wanted to go back and look at things, you can for sure. So take action, guys. I really, really encourage you to do that. I put this webinar on so that I can share with you what I have to offer. Hopefully it's provided you value and that you really want to start moving your life ahead. I gave you my story so that it would inspire you. I started, doing this at the age of 45, and sometimes we think we're too old to get started. We are not ever, ever, ever too old. So make sure you start to take action and get those free gifts, and I would love to hear from you in the coaching call. So this is what I want to leave you with. Let's just make this your mantra. I want to work less, I want to make more, and I want to have fun. So hope you'll be jumping off that boat, just like we did when we were kids, right? That's what it's all about. And I love what Zig Ziglar says. He says, you can have everything in life you want if you would just help other people get what they want. And I also love Wayne Gretzky. He's one of my, I think I saw every single game of his when I lived in Edmonton when he was really at his top. So that was really cool. He says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So let's really take action, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'm just going to get back to my screen here. Great. Super. So we will have the recording. I'll send that out to you. I see that there's a couple people in the chat saying hi, hi, hi. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And yeah, anything that I can do for you to get you moving towards your lifestyle, your freedom lifestyle, I'm here to help you. So thanks again, everyone, for being here. Ciao for now.